In short and crisp words, I will just like to throw some shine on the story of Punjab. Punjab is a country, it was a country. Right now it's occupied by India, but in 1849, till 1849, it was a country itself. And then the Britishers took over, and then in 1947, Punjab was divided into Pakistan Punjab and Indian occupied Punjab. And we chose to stay more towards the India side because they told us we will be given autonomous state Punjab if we choose to live within India instead of getting our own country. But those promises were broken, and that resulted in genocide because there was a Sikh leader, Sant Jarnail Singh Khalsa Pindranwale, who lead the civil rights movement. And in 1984, when government of India felt like now we have to give Sikhs their rights, instead of giving Sikhs their rights, they attacked our holy shrine, Golden Temple, Sikh place of worship. And after that, as a result, because of the Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister of India, ordered that strike, two of his gunmen killed her. And what happened after that assassination? Indian government and Indian officials chose to kill the whole community. They started genocidal campaign on October 31st, right after the Indira Gandhi was assassinated, and it happened till November 4th. For 4 days, nobody was there to even say how you are or how you are feeling. They were just keep on killing Sikhs. Even if somebody have the kada, they still target him. So that was a target killing, and it was a genocidal campaign. And why it was a genocide? Because it was sponsored by the state. State machinery was used, state buses were used to transport the criminals. And now, still now, India still not declared as a genocide. They still say it was a anti-Sikh riots or it was a whatever happened was wrong, but they never say it was a genocide because if they say it was a genocide, they have to punish those elected officials. They have to accept the fact that they threw the blood on their own citizen. They used their army and they used their equipment and they used their tank to destroy Darbar Sahib, which is a Sikh place of worship, and threat or attack on any place of worship is attack on their identity. And I also want to bring all of you one more thing in the notice that till now, Indian Constitution under Section 25B says that Sikhs are part of Hindu religion. That's a direct attack on their identity, and we won't tolerate that. And I will also like to point out that even on today's event, which was event to ease the pain of Sikh community, Indian government officials send a letter that they shouldn't do this event. We should stop this event. But I would like to make a note that Indian government cannot interfere within our American system. Our American system allow us freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and they have no jurisdiction, and they should stop speaking false things, and they should stop whatever they are doing to threat us. State of Connecticut has passed the law this year, and we thank our state senator Kathy Austin that she understood the pain of Sikh community. It didn't happen overnight. We met her so many times. I live in the same town. Kathy Austin is the senator, and I am very active within a political system as well. And but we told everyone whatever happened to Sikh community because it's part of the history, and it is really important that we correct what's ill in the history. And I am glad our senators felt the same pain that Sikh community is going through even right now and took initiative to declare it as a genocide and November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. And we thank you for that. And even I want to share one more thing. 8 cities in the state of Connecticut has also declared the same thing, November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day today. And we have citation from General Assembly, we have proclamation from the governor, even Kevin Limo, state controller, recognized this fact, and US Senator Richard Blumenthal, who couldn't be here with us, but I met him yesterday myself, and he gave a special recognition for Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. I think these kind of recognitions are not just piece of paper, they have very powerful and meaningful meaning. And it shows that our elected officials here in Connecticut, in America, they stand with us. They stand with us in solidarity, and they have a courage to speak truth. So we thank you all for coming here. We will be starting our event with the opening prayer, and we have representative from Gurdwara Tegh Bahadur Foundation, Norwalk, who will lead us in the opening prayer. Usually we just stand together, hold our hand, and we just remember the God. We remember our 10 gurus and Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and we also remember all the Sikhs who gave their life for the righteousness. And we, at the end of our Sikh prayer, we pray for all the human beings, because Sikh community recognize all human race as one. So let's start our event with the opening prayer, and after that we will have our State Senator Kathy Austin, who wanted to say a few words, and then we will have a mayor of South Windsor, Saud Anwar, who gonna present us proclamation as well. And then we're gonna have our presentation. We have prepared a small presentation about the history of Sikhs in Connecticut. It's like a 5 minute presentation. We just want to tell you where our gurdwaras are, what we have accomplished within this 40 years, what kind of recognitions we have got, and what we have done for the Connecticut community. Thank you very much.
Because I'm a little loud, so I don't need one way or the other. But I remember when we first started talking about the genocide that happened in 1984, and quite frankly, I was appalled. But I did my research to make sure that, and I'd like to call up my colleague Kevin Ryan, who's also here today. Uh, because I think that it's something that uh, is doomed to happen over and over again if we don't recognize it. And that's something that I think is important for people to know. And I was talking a little bit earlier today, and I received a letter. It's basically a form letter. They crossed out the going to and put my name in. So it's not a letter of great import from my perspective from India. And it said, as I have, I'll just read the one paragraph that I think sort of shows the denial of what has happened. It says, as I have explained before, the anti-Sikh violence had its roots in years of terrorism perpetuated by Sikh terrorists and cannot be subject to selective analysis. The purpose of the people who persuaded you to support the state resolution is to weaken the India Union through divisive policies, and this you will agree that we cannot allow to succeed. And I do agree that we should never allow divisive politics to be the order of the day. Uh, but as in any case where genocide has happened, uh, the perpetrators of that genocide say it wasn't me, and they often blame the victims, saying that it was what they did that brought this about. I would liken this to the Holocaust, when people said that the Holocaust did not happen, and people today will still say the Holocaust did not happen. Those people did not really die. The death camps were not real, but they were real, and this was real. And I would expect that the government of India would recognize that and stand up and say, we made a mistake. It's also true that the United States occasionally makes mistakes. And we also have to recognize when we do so, because in order to move forward, you have to recognize what you did that was wrong, even if you were not the ones that perpetuated it. But this is still being perpetuated. We need to stop it. And I am very proud to be here today. I do have an official citation, but I'd like to introduce my colleague, State Representative Kevin Ryan. Do we both have the same one? Probably.
Mine's better.
Oh, okay.
I want to join with my colleague, and first of all, thank you for allowing us to be part of this remembrance today. I think we've learned a lot of history in the last few months in talking with members of the Sikh community about what has happened in India in 1984. And what Senator Austin has said is really true. A lot of times we see these things are denied, especially when it's something so embarrassing, so devastating to a community. Um, we know that this has happened. Many people died. We want to remember it so it doesn't happen again. But we really have to at least consider the victims from that time and their families, and something none of us ever want to have to go through. Hope we never will have to go through, and realize that for whatever reason, petty jealousies, whatever brought this about, religious intimidation, we can't allow to happen in any other part of the world. And so you brought that lesson to us here today, and we appreciate that. And I'll let the senator read her citation.
I think we both have a citation for you. Can have them both. So this was introduced by myself, Representative Ryan, and Representative Emmett Riley. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly offers its congratulations to the Sikh community of Connecticut. And it's congratulations not for the event, but for never forgetting the event. You can't forget. You can forgive, but you cannot forget. In recognition of the designation of November 1st of each year as Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day in the state of Connecticut, we join together to remember those who lost their lives during the horrific anti-Sikh programs which claimed the lives of thousands of Sikhs throughout India in November of 1984. The entire membership extends its very best wishes for the occasion of the remembrance and expresses the hope that we will never forget what happened. We cannot forget what happened. It's given this 10th day of November 2018 at the state capitol. It was signed by the President of the Senate, Martin Looney, Speaker of the House, Joe Arasimowicz, and Secretary of the State, Denise Merrill. Never forget. Always remember. It's only that way that we can improve and move on. Thank you.
I'll invite community members to come forward and accept this citation, official citations.
Bole Sonehal.
Sat Sri Akal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the kind words. And now our next speaker is from the Tamil community, a human rights activist as well as representing the American Humanist Society, Karthik Prabhu Natarajan. I would like you to share a few words. And just to let you know, Tamil community also had to go through the genocide, which is Tamil Nadu is one of the state in India as well. So we have representative from the Tamil community as well. Thank you.
The Holocaust of the World War II. The mere mention of this word evokes gory images of terror, torture, and brutal mass killings of men, women, and children. Now, fast forward to as. Okay,
Hold it in the hand.
okay. Now, fast forward to as recent as 2008 in Sri Lanka, which is an island country south of India. The picture is not much different for Tamils. Who are Tamils? Tamils are one of the oldest races with literature dating back easily more than 3,500 years, with a population about 80 million people living across India, Sri Lanka, and the diaspora spread across the world. In 2008 and 2009 alone, the Sri Lankan army killed more than 200 Tamil civilians in north and east of Sri Lanka, using means which violated the international law. In May 2009, Mullivai Kal, a place in which a land area was declared as a no-fire zone, was shelled with cluster bombs, resulting in a toll of 70,000 civilians during the final weeks of the genocide, as per the United Nations report. Permanent People Tribunal has recorded the specific assassination of journalists that were systematically done in attempts to create a war without any witness. It also records the killings of elected members of the parliament as well. The details of the genocide are reported by various humanitarian organizations such as Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the Center for Policy Alternatives as well. The United Nations memorandum released by panel of experts by Charles Fedry concluded that UN did not adequately invoke the principles of human rights, but appeared instead to do what is necessary to avoid confrontation with the government. It was mentioned by the UN report. So what is the Tamils in the north and east in Sri Lanka they needed? Tamils demand a referendum for the independent Tamil Eelam. Point number 2, the genocide case need to be referred to the International Criminal Court to enforce justice. These are the 2 demands. Dear brothers and sisters, I want to record here that what was perpetrated by the Sri Lankan government to Tamils in the country of Sri Lanka is being perpetrated for the last few decades by the Indian government to the Tamils living in South India as well. In the state of Tamil Nadu, in many structural ways. There are a lot of ways. I mean, even the Indian government had started in the past few decades, I can say it has started in a structural way. It is therefore crucial that the tie between brothers who suffered genocide all around the world are united to instill justice and equality. I want to mention here that we Tamils and Sikhs are already functioning together in solidarity. We Tamils have organized protests in Chennai for the release of Professor Bullar. We have even participated in the Federalism and Autonomy Convention that happened last week in Chandigarh, that is calling for equitable rights to the state of Tamil Nadu and also other states of India. On behalf of Tamil political movements across the United States, including the American Humane Society, the North American Tamils Movement, and the World Tamil Organization, an organization which has been operating in US for the last 28 years, we stand in solidarity with all sections of people in the world who underwent genocide. Let us work together to promote goodwill among all men. Thank you, dear ones. One small announcement also.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, one small announcement. So today we have a signature campaign that is organized. I mean, that is for the requesting the Tamil Nadu state governor to release 7 innocent convicts who have been in the jail for more than 28 years. You would have heard of the Rajiv Gandhi assassination that happened in the 1991. And there are 7 Tamils who have been in the jail for more than 28 years. And the Supreme Court is not having a problem. The Tamil Nadu State Legislative Assembly has passed a resolution in favor of to release them. But currently, the governor of Tamil Nadu, it is pending with him and he is not taking any action. So we just wanted for him to take an action, say yes or no. That is, so we have organized a small campaign here. So if people would be interested, you can go through the letter and you can just have your signature on it. Thank you very much.
Please accept the plaque. Thank you very much. Please accept our warm regards in the form of plaque. And I invite, we have Sikh community from New Jersey, New York, we have Sikhs from Virginia, Pennsylvania, all over America here. And I invite Sikhs from Carteret Gurdwara Sahib in Connecticut to honor our speaker, Karthik. Sat Sri Akal. Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Pawan Singh from Virginia, representing the Gurdwara Sahib in Virginia, and also representing Shromani Akali Dal Amritsar, which is the political party in India fighting for the justice and for the Khalistan. Thank you.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is extremely unfortunate that we have to commemorate days to genocides and massacres, because this time can be dedicated towards the betterment of humanity. This time that we have taken out can be dedicated to eradicate AIDS, to eradicate illiteracy, to eradicate world hunger. But I must say it is very important that we do take the time out to commemorate these blunders that have taken place in the history of mankind. I say this with a very heavy heart. Congratulations, Mr. Swaranjit Singh Khalsa. Your efforts and hard work has come to fruition that we all have gathered here today to remember those who cannot speak for themselves anymore. And one must ask, why do these genocides happen? And part of the reason is our denial. We are responsible for it. The night of the Kristallnacht, when Jewish businesses were attacked, and the world said to itself, this cannot happen. This is the 20th century. We have the media. How can this happen? No, you know what? It's a hoax. This cannot happen. Time went by. Millions of Jews lost their lives. Then Stalin massacred his own people, and we turned a blind eye to it. Mao Zedong rises up in China. He kills millions of people, and we turn a blind eye to it. Comes 1978, 13 Sikh men and women are killed who were peacefully protesting, and we turn a blind eye to it. The government programs are in the planning stage. They continue. Comes 1984, the Golden Temple gets attacked, and we say, guess what? That was an isolated incident. We were in a state of denial. We continue to be in a state of denial because that genocide did not just take place in 1984 and ended there. It continues to this very day. The massive killing of innocents in the villages that took place in the land of Punjab and everywhere else in India, that was all part of this continuing genocide of the Sikhs. The genocide has changed its course because the Brahmin has many tools to use. When we ask ourselves, why did this genocide happen against the Sikhs? What is it that the Sikhs were asking? I have an answer. Sikhism is a faith based on the values of equality of all humankind, regardless of your race, the family that you're born in, regardless of your job, regardless of your gender, whether you're male or a female. There is equality for all men and women. We ask for freedom, and we ask for justice for all of humankind, regardless of your faith, regardless of the skin color, and regardless of your level of education. We demand equality, freedom, and justice. And the Brahminical system cannot swallow that because it's totally anti-Brahminical. The caste system, the Brahmin sits at the top, and you have to be born into that family to have access to these three rights that I just mentioned. So that's why there's a fundamental problem that they see with the Sikh faith. But I must congratulate all of you Sikhs who have been able to escape the slavery of India and have settled yourselves here in the land of the free and home of the brave. Because our values are parallel to American values. We go hand in hand, and that is why it is a win-win situation. But we must not stop here. We must continue to raise our voice for all of humanity. And what we need to do is, we need to grow some teeth on our foreign policy. We are very fortunate that we have a chance to spend our lives and the future of our children within the political boundaries of the United States of America. You need no other power. You're empowered just by the very nature that you are an American citizen. Your voice gets amplified. When you speak up, the world listens. And the leadership shall come from bottom up. We need to elect leaders who are responsible, leaders with common sense, and leaders who make policies that are for the betterment of humanity. And with that, I would like to go ahead and ask, and I call upon the Sikh caucus to go ahead and lobby on behalf of humanity, and call upon your senators and your congresspeople to hold India accountable. Do not just give them blank checks. While the world writes them hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in foreign aid, guess what India is busy doing? They just spent over $300 million on a statue, while their people are dying of hunger. We need to hold the leadership accountable for it. Do not just give them the money and then forget about it. Because after all, it is our responsibility. It is of great shame that those cowards and tyrants who have persecuted minorities in India are given visas to come to our heartland, the city of Chicago, and our government allows them to spread their word of hatred, hate-mongering. And it is of utmost shame that Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy shares the stage with someone who has committed crimes against humanity. And with that, I mean Mohan Bhagwat, the head of RSS. But there's also a bright side to it. What has happened is we have come across the minorities of India, and we know Sikhs are not alone. We stand in solidarity with Kashmiris, with Christians, with Tamils, with Nagas, with Buddhists, with Dalits, whom the Brahmin has labeled untouchable for the longest time, for the last 5,000 years. And we are going to work together. And we are going to lift the curtain of democracy that India has used to torture its own citizens. We are going to tell the world what India has done since 1947. When a Christian organization named Compassion International gets banned in India, they were spending $150 million each year for the betterment of humanity. The Modi government comes and bans it. And when those Christian folks raise their voice with the Indian consulate in Washington, D.C., guess who comes to negotiate with them? An RSS representative. This is happening on American soil. RSS is a terrorist organization, and our leaders are letting it happen. We need to rise up, raise our voice, stand in solidarity with our Christian brothers and sisters within the boundaries of India and everywhere else all around the globe, so we can amplify our voices. We can combine the energies So with that, I would like to apologize if I have offended anyone with my words, but I must say, this is land of the free and home of the brave. God bless America. God bless all of humanity. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you very much, Pavan. Yes, you're right that the killing of Sikhs were not just stopped after 1984. There were many operations like Operation Black Thunder, there were fake encounters, Operation Woodrose, and I would also like to share that for more than 20 years there were some villages in which there were no marriage. Basically, they killed all the young blood in our villages of Punjab. And even till now, they keep on banning Sikh NGOs, so we cannot even help our brothers and sisters who live in Punjab. And even the Commission of Human Rights of Religious Freedom was denied visa to India because they know if people from America gonna go, they're gonna make the report which will go against India. And that's exactly what they did today. And they emailed the letter, Indian High Commission emailed the letter to our senators and state representative not to hold this ceremony and not to hold this commemoration. But no matter what they do, the voices of Sikhs will be heard at the global level, and this is part of the thing which we are doing today. Now I will like to request our state senator, Tony Busher. She has been a very great friend. Within a short period of time, we have established the very good relationship with her. She came to our Gurdwara Sahib in Hamden as well when we celebrated April 14th, Vaisakhi Day, as a National Sikh Day. And she want to say a few words. And after that, she'll be providing us with the proclamation that Governor gave us for Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. And we also have our Mayor of Norwich, just to tell everyone here. I just wanted to recognize Peter Nystrom, Mayor of Norwich, and his wife, Linda Nystrom. And we are very blessed that you are here. And Norwich is one of the cities which has always raised voice of Sikh community. And the first city in Connecticut who declared November as a Sikh Awareness Month. So we are glad we have elected officials who understand the feeling of the minorities and the people who live in their constituencies. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Thank you very much. You should all be thanked for the amazing advocacy that you, your leadership in Connecticut, have provided for this awareness and promoting understanding and tolerance on such an important issue. You should be thanked, and your national leaders now are here to recognize that effort as well. This is such an important year for genocide education. I'm proud to be a part of that movement. It's such an important year because, like others that have spoken, many have tried to stop my efforts with regards to a very important bill that I have been trying to get enacted for 10 years. And one would question why. And it started as a Holocaust education mandate for every school children in Connecticut to learn about the Holocaust. And it took a very long time. And in that process, we added and other genocides. And when we did that, you would think the world was coming to an end because for an hour and a half, the Turkish consulate tried to persuade me not to pass the bill as well, just as others are persuading not to have this commemoration, which is so incredibly important. Because as other speakers have said, you have to stand up against wrong wherever you find it. And the best way is to educate our children so they understand where terrible things have occurred that should never, ever happen again. So I'm very proud of what was accomplished with this resolution, recognizing the Sikh genocide as well as other genocides here in Connecticut, so it builds tolerance and understanding. And you should know that we stand with you and hope that this becomes a yearly occasion. Thank you so much for inviting me to attend. Okay, now we have a beautiful proclamation from the state of Connecticut by His Excellency Daniel P. Malloy, Governor. as stated in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Everyone has a right to life, liberty, and the security of person. Intolerance, violence, and violation of human rights has no place in our global society. The history of the Sikh genocide offers an opportunity to reflect on the moral responsibilities of individuals, societies, and governments. The events that occurred in 1984 mark in sorrow the loss of countless Sikh lives, a great loss of both the Sikh community and the global citizenry. The citizens of the state of Connecticut should remember the terrible events of the Sikh genocide and remain vigilant against hatred, persecution, and tyranny. We must ensure that discrimination and violence do not take place in our community and protect human rights universally. Therefore, in accordance with the laws of the state of Connecticut, I, Daniel P. Malloy, Governor, do hereby proclaim November 30th to be in perpetuity Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day in the state of Connecticut.
Thank you very much. Now our next speaker is Peter Nystrom, Mayor of City of Norwich, good friend of Sikh community, always supported Sikh community. And just to tell you, Norwich was the first city who recognized in 2014 November as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month. Then in 2017, April 14th was declared as a National Sikh Day, and that was the first city in the America who declared April 14th as a National Sikh Day. In 2017, they declared the genocide that happened on Sikh community, the anti-Sikh violence, as a Sikh genocide. In our city of Norwich, we have entrance signs in 7 different languages, and Punjabi is one of the top one. And our Otis Library even have a Sikh flag in the library. And what amount of work we have done to promote diversity in our city, I think it was a very challenging job, but at the same time, I think we have established the foundation for the other cities to join us and promote their diversity and celebrate their diversity. And we just don't do stuff, we really mean it. We mean it because we have a permanent, you can say, memorials in our city. We have our Peace Pole Memorial. We have recognized more than 38 languages, even the sign language in our city of Norwich. And we really thank our leadership, because it is very important for all of us to pick the right leadership. Then only we can do anything good for our city and for our citizen. So not taking too much time, I will invite Peter Nystrom to share a few words. And he also have proclamation for Sikh community recognizing November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month, as well as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll share a little bit. I had the honor of serving with Senator Tony Boucher, who was just here speaking before I was. We served in the House together, and she great service in the State Senate as well. And her leadership in the areas of education are very well known, and it's very nice to see her. I want to extend my best to you. We are here united as one community, and I think that needs to be said and be heard. So RNG has shared some efforts we've made in the city of Norwich. I'd like to share something fun with you. Through his efforts, we've just opened a Royal Punjab restaurant of Northern Indian food, and it is delicious. So I want to extend an invitation to everyone here to come to the city of Norwich and join and partake in learning about the foods as well of Northern India. For some of us, they're a little hot, but that's okay, we adapt. But he's been a great friend of mine personally since 2010. He's accepted responsibilities in our community as well. He now serves in our commission on the city plan. and he's helping us there in areas of economic development. And through him, I've met other members of our Sikh community, and he mentioned some things in Norwich that are happening. I'll share one more thing that's happening. We've started and embarked on a program called Global City Norwich. And that program acknowledges the cultures and communities of people who sometimes are not seen in your cities and towns. And it's through the generosity of one of our local banks and the city supporting it as well. But we are going on a journey together with people in our community that sometimes, again, are ignored. And we're emphasizing and learning more about their cultures. And so we're growing through all of this, and we're gaining knowledge of all our brothers and sisters, and I think we're better for it, very, very much. But I do have a proclamation that I'd be honored to read to all of you. And whereas November 2016 marked the 32nd year anniversary of the horrific anti-Sikh pogroms, which claimed the lives of thousands of Sikhs throughout India in the first week of November 1984. And whereas Sikhs were beaten with iron rods, doused with kerosene and set on fire, and Sikh women, many of whom lost their husbands, sons, and fathers during the pogroms, were gang raped and sexually assaulted by the attackers, and Sikh homes, businesses, and houses of worship were looted, damaged, and destroyed during the pogroms, resulting in the international destruction of many Sikh families. And whereas eyewitnesses, journalists, and human rights activists have compiled evidence showing that government and law enforcement officials organized, participated in, and failed to intervene to prevent the killings through direct and indirect means. And whereas individuals and organizations throughout the world, recognizing the need for justice, continue to demand prosecution of those responsible for the November 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms. And whereas we must remember those who lost their lives during the November 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms and massacre, and recognize this as Sikh Genocide 1984. Now therefore I, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Bill Nash, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the City of Norwich, to hereby call on the residents of the City of Norwich to remember all who were lost and to work diligently to prevent such a massacre in the future. Dated this 10th day of November 2018. Signed by myself and Alderman Bill Nash.
Thank you very much, Peter. We also have one commemoration plaque for you and for Tony Busher as well. So please come forward and accept that. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Peter just made another big announcement that City of Norwich City Hall will have an entrance sign in Punjabi language which says Ji Aaya Nu. Now I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Amarjeet Singh Ji. He has done so much work for the community that I don't really have a lot of words that I can explain. But he's a Sikh activist, Sikh scholar. He also runs TV 84 and tried to increase the voice of Sikh nation through media and always talk with logic. That's the best thing you can do to make anybody understand. Even our young generation, they will ask why on everything, you know. I have a 3-year-old, so I can tell you that. She tells me why. But the way he explains things with logic, with documentation, I think it's incredible. And he runs his show, weekly show, Such or Such on TV 84, and tell the Sikh perspective on the various things going on in the world. How things going on in China are affecting Sikhs, how things going on in India are affecting Sikhs, what kind of policy India is making. So he always raised his voice through media, which is an incredible thing, and we wish him success, and hopefully we will also have a Sikh media which everybody will be proud of, and we are proud of TV84, and we have declared TV84 as a Panthak channel, which means voice of truth. They always promote the real things, and we are really proud of him. We invite Dr. Amarjeet Singh ji to please say a few words. We have 10 minutes for you. Thank you so much.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Brothers and sisters, while I was growing, two slogans used to be repeated or used to be reverberated in the air. One was, lest we forget, and the second was, never again. That was the scenario in the post-Second World War. We were guilty of what happened to Jews, Gypsies, Catholics, civil libertarians under the Nazi Germany, not only in Germany, in whole of Europe. Firstly, even a great country like United States of America, its leaders were in denial, while in the early 1930s the reports were pouring out of Germany that what is happening there. And eventually, in the post-Second World War, we said, never again, never again. And today, as we are remembering those thousands of Sikh men, women and children, those who were cold-bloodedly murdered in the first week of November 1984 throughout India. India, a country, if you give a quiz to the Americans that what do you think of India? And the two things will come, land of Gandhi, apostle of peace. And second, they will say land of mysticism, yoga. So successful salesmen they are that they have sold these two things to the world, but never letting the world know that in the so-called largest democracy on this planet, what they have done to its minorities in the last 72 years, it may be Sikhs, 200 million Muslims, 30 million Christians, more than 100 million those so-called untouchables by the Brahmins' decree, those who are suffering, reeling under them. How many in the United States of America know that a commission which came into being through the US Congress law, US Commission on International Religious Freedom, they have not been allowed access to India for past many years, never given visa. And over 9,000 NGOs in India have not been given registration now in the past 2-3 years, as those NGOs were the ones who were giving free food to the so-called untouchables, poor, taking care of their medicinal needs and other things. That is what is India, which is being sold as. When their leaders come here, they'll say, we are the largest democracy, you are the greatest democracy. But the fact of the matter, my brothers and sisters, is I'll take you to the words of freelancer Milan Kundera when he says, the first step towards liquidation of a people is to destroy its books, its culture, its history. Then have somebody to write new books, invent new culture, create new history. Before long, those people will forget that what they were and what they are. The struggle of memory is against forgetting. And that is what exactly they have done to the Sikhs in the last 72 years. We must remember that Sikhs today 30 million across the world, and when we are celebrating New Jersey state legislature for its recognition of November 84 as a Sikh genocide, the first state in the United States, I think it will be remembered as that very historical thing as when Jews were suffering, how in Denmark or other places, those who refused to wear those stars which were identifying them as Jews, who helped Jews to escape from the clutches of those murderers, as we remember them. Certainly, New Jersey State has carved its place in that thing, that when on one hand the world was considering India as the largest democracy, land of Gandhi, but this state that admitted, that recognized that Sikhs are being butchered, Sikh genocide has occurred in November 1984, and that is a commendable, and we are thankful to all the senators, to the state legislatures and other officials, and as particularly those very cities, those who have recognized November 84 as a Sikh genocide month, or April, month of April as a Sikh awareness month. We need to remember when the word genocide, particularly ethnic cleansing, genocide, before, particularly during Nazi era, it was Holocaust, particularly pertaining to Jews. But David Grensley, who is an expert in this and who presented a paper in 1995 to State Department, that how genocide is defined. He has given 8 stages of genocide, which are, sometimes they can be simultaneously, the perpetrators of those may be implementing all of them, but for understanding the first stage of the identity of that very genocide on which the people will be suffering is classification, symbolization, dehumanization, organization, preparation, extermination, and denial. I won't go in detail, but the fact of the matter is that firstly they create a scenario so that those who are to be killed, as the word extermination we know, which means they are not even human beings. And what happened to Sikhs in June 1984 when Indian Army attacked our Sanctum Sanctorum Golden Temple and 37 Sikh historical shrines in the first week of June. If you may look at the Indian media, their mainstream media between 78 and 84, they created a propaganda, again a German word, where they marked Sikhs as extremists, as terrorists, as a threat to Indian unity and integrity. And in that environment, when they attacked our Sanctum Sanctorum, destroyed our Sikh archives and carried out the killings of thousands of Sikh young men in the over 12,000 villages of Punjab, it was considered by the majority community as already a ground had been prepared by the propaganda as a service to the Indian nation. As with the Hindu majority today, that Indian nation is not just a geographical entity, that is Bharat Mata, goddess mother. As they have carved that geographical area into a Hindu spiritual entity of Bharat Mata, Mother India, that anybody who asks for right of self-determination, anybody who asks for simple his human rights of living with dignity and with honor is a threat to the goddess Mother India, and such a person should be eliminated. And that thing in the last 34 years, ladies and gentlemen, from it's not only Sikhs, those who have suffered or who are suffering. Today, look at India, what is happening to the Christians. Gang rape of nuns, even attack on those very public schools or Christian schools under which these today's rulers have gotten education, as their propaganda is that they all are threat to Mother India. And that is how systematically through classifying and with identity they had no problem. We with our turbans and distinct names and the killer gangs which were supported by the state had the voters list. They identified where they have to go. They chose Sikh businesses to be destroyed, Sikh homes to be attacked, and eventually coming to a point that in spite of what Sikhs were suffering in the hands, look at the outside world. They sent their missions, their high commissions, their consulates, lot of propaganda material which was circulated around that Sikhs are terrorists, they are threat to India's unity and integrity, and that is what it is not on one hand we were suffering under their regime, but outside as well, they tried to create such an environment. And not only that, even a disaster like Air India disaster in Canada, we had never any doubt that that was the doing of Indian intelligence agency, RAW. And I am glad today that organizers of this event, Brother Swaranjit Singh Khalsa, they have invited our Tamil brothers and our other brothers and sisters as well to this moment of commemorating November 84. What they did in Tamil Nadu or Sri Lanka particularly. Firstly, they trained Prabhakaran and sent him along with his guerrillas, LTTE, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Nadu, to Sri Lanka. Then they asked him to withdraw. When he denied, they sent the army there in the name of Indian peacekeeping force, killed thousands of Tamils, later on joined hands with the killer government of Sri Lanka and exterminated, as the term has been used by Mr. Gregory, in the northeast of Tamil, thousands upon thousands of Tamils, as UN has asked. UN is doing investigation into that. The same story was repeated in Myanmar. But when it comes to India, even United States Congress, now in the 1990s, there had been a couple of resolutions asking for stopping financial aid to India as it is violating human rights of minorities and others. But in today's scenario, and particularly in the post 9/11 scenario, unfortunately the word militant, freedom fighter, all have been clubbed as terrorists, and Indian government, which is doing worse to its own citizens, is riding on the bandwagon of United States or other Western powers to tell that how terrorism is a threat to India. But fact of the matter is that those very policies of Indian government are still continuing. And when it comes to denial, which was the final step we are looking for, I have worked with the Armenian lobby in Fordham University and others, and I have seen that even after 100 years, when we were organizing some event in United Nations, some sleuths from the Turkish embassy were there disturbing the function, that even after 100 years, Turkey is not ready to accept that what they did to Armenian Christians there. And in the Indian context, they are hiding under the democracy level. And I want to say that United States, which is the beacon of hope, even today, in spite of ups and downs and changes in the White House or others, I still think that the people of United States of America and the very values of this country, what the dream the founding fathers of this country had, they run parallel to the Sikh values. We believe in liberty, we believe in justice, we believe in equality, and those are the very values. When over 100 years ago, Sikhs came to United States of America, first in California, today over 700,000 Sikhs, they have made United States as their home. But we, like Jews, being a very history-oriented community, in our daily prayer, morning and evening, we remember 550 years of our history in that brief prayer, that in the 18th century, what kind of persecution we suffered. We were cut limb after limb, we were chopped, we were hung upside down, we were burnt alive, but still we always stick to the values of Sikhi. Sikhi kesa swasa nal nebe, that to the last breath and last hair, we live to those very values. And our great 10th Guru, he has given a sword as well. When I asked Swaranjit Singh that can we come enter the legislature building with sword, with kirpan, he said yes, we have taken, and I was very glad that with full kirpan I was entering inside. And that reminds us as well, on one hand, while we are commemorating, we are remembering those thousands of brothers and sisters, those whose lives were snuffed out by the Indian regime. But at the same time, let me remind this crowd as well that in the 18th century as well, these challenges were before us. But as our 10th Guru had written in a Persian letter to Aurangzeb, the ruler of that time, that you must be very happy that you have killed my 4 sons, you have destroyed my Anandpur, but you have snuffed out few candles. The whole hot burning furnace of Khalsa is around me. I'll make Punjab so hot that your horses won't be able to gallop around the burning plains of Punjab. And history is a testimony to it, that small Sikh community that uprooted the Mughal Empire from the face of the earth, that stopped the Afghan invaders at Darra Khyber, which has become a big headache today for the world. And as we are talking in Moscow, 11 representatives from 11 nations are sitting with the Taliban, which meeting is being hosted by Russia, and American representative is there as well. Those are trying to see that how to maintain peace in Afghanistan, but this tiny Sikh community is the one who carved out the borders of present day Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Punjab, Pakistani Punjab or Pakistan with the Afghanistan. That is the history of the Sikhs, and today as well, while we are remembering our those brothers and sisters, we are here to have this resolve, again remind ourselves, and I am glad that on this brochure which has been provided to everybody, it is not just the memory of those, but it says at the end, the struggle for the Sikh nation should continue to achieve a free Punjab, Khalistan land, where the rights of every individual is protected and everyone is treated with love and respect, regardless of their religion, color, creed, caste, gender, or sexual orientation. This is the motto of Sikhism in our daily prayer, which ends with these words, Nanak, Naam, Chaddi Kala, Tere Pane, Sarbat da Pala. With 5 these words, we the followers of Guru Nanak, we believe in the eternal God. His only name is the solace for us. And always Chaddi Kala is much more than thumbs up. That says a state of mind. And we believe that whatever is happening is the sweet will of the God. And in spite of going through all these persecutions and challenges, we believe in good of all, Sarbat da Pala. And certainly we are determined to now liberate our fatherland, our motherland, between the river Jamuna and Wagah, which is Pakistan border, which is under Indian occupation. We have realized in the last 34 years that no justice can be given to Sikhs by these regimes. More than 12 governments have changed in Delhi, more than 12 commissions investigating November 84, starting from Mishra Commission to Nanavati Commission. And that is what we are getting, is we are being humiliated. These 34 years have been years of humiliation. On one hand, we keep on demanding UN intervention. We keep on demanding that international community should stand by us. But we know that the answer lies in our liberation from the Indian yoke. 30 million Sikh nation is determined to liberate their own nation. And this is well within the ambit of United Nations. And brothers and sisters, I want to remind that the preamble of UN Charter of Human Rights have few words which says, if a man is not to be compelled as a last resort to rebellion, his human rights must be protected by the rule of the law. And if we may look at 10th Guru's Farman, this is exact translation of what Guru Gobind Singh Sahib said to Aurangzeb, Chunkaras, this is Persian, Chunkaras hama hilte darguzast, halalast, burdan ba, shamshire dast. If a man, as the UN Charter says, here it is, that to get justice, the last resort to take to the hilt of the sword is justified for the man of the God. And we pay our tribute to them as well, those who stood against the tyranny, sacrificed their lives, and certainly the very UN Charter gives every individual, every oppressed nation, every oppressed people the right of self-determination. And we know that how in the last 30 years, it may be Kosovo, it may be Macedonia, it may be East Timor, and very currently it may be South Sudan, they have used this right of self-determination to become free countries, free land, and Sikh nation until 1849 had 150,000 square mile territories empire, which was a role model. And when we look at even European historians' account, the empire of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, where all, irrespective of caste, color, creed, gender, they prospered in that land. There were 52 officers in different places from whole of Europe, even from Pennsylvania. An American doctor was serving in that Sikh empire. That is our history, that is our legacy. And certainly we should resolve today that we won't sit or we won't rest or we won't be in comfort zone until unless we liberate our homeland of Khalistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amarjit Singh Ji. Please accept our regards in the form of picture of the painting that we have created for Hari Singh Nalwa, a Sikh warrior. And I invite Sariyan Bibiyan nu appeal kiti jandi hai bhi agge aao. We have equal rights for men and women. So we want our Sikh women to come forward and present Dr. Amarjit Singh Ji this award. Thank you.
आगे हो जाए थोड़ा थोड़ा फोटो हो जाए सोनी साइड पे इधर आ जा किताब रिलीज करनी है करके वेट करना है
Thank you very much. Now we have a speaker from Council of Khalistan, Dr. Baksheesh Singh Ji. We have 2-3 minutes for you. We are actually time bound. We have to end this event at 3 o'clock. We might be 10 minutes over, but please be within time limit. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guru Prasad Sangh Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We are here today commemorating the victims of 1984 Sikh genocide. I want to thank the people of Connecticut legislatures who have made this possible, the declaration of this genocide. Sikh genocide, even though happened at the highest level in November 1984, it started in 1947. So why this genocide? Why is India bent on finishing Punjabi and the Sikh nation? In the Declaration of Independence on 4th of July 1776, John Adams wrote, all people are created equal and they have some unalienable rights. That is, right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. However, India, all people are born unequal and they have unequal rights. And the India has two constitutions, one for the elite majority and one for the minority unwritten constitution. And for minorities, the law is always on the wrong side. Unfortunately, But not surprisingly, India doesn't see anything wrong with it. India can kill minorities, hundreds of thousands, and get away with it. And our job is, we will not let India get away with it. And the genocide that happened in 1984 started from 47, still going on. Golden Temple attack in 1955, Operation Blue Star, Operation Wood Rose, Black Thunder 1 and Black Thunder 2. That genocide continuing against other minorities as well, Muslims, Christians, and others. Like, for example, the Ayodhya attack in December. On December 6, 1992, Ayodhya temple was torn down, and Babri Masjid was torn down, and a Hindu temple was created there. And the massacre of Muslims in November and December 1992 and January 93, and the massacre of Muslims after Godhra train incident, and the burning of Rohingya Muslim camps in Delhi on April 15 this year. So this genocide is continuing. So Sikhs have tried by peaceful means to get justice. Now the Indian government, as you have just heard, has written to the legislators here, to Cathy Austin and Cameron Ryan, that Sikhs are terrorists. But I want to explain to you that who is a terrorist, and those who wrote this letter, if they are listening now, so pay attention to what I'm saying. Who is a terrorist? Indian government. And who is on the receiving end of the terrorism are the Sikhs. And how is that? In 1955, the Indian government at Golden Temple on the Sikhs who were peacefully protesting. They were asking the creation of Punjabi Suba, which was left out intentionally. So if the Sikhs are peacefully protesting, they attacked upon, they shot and they killed. And when they asked their rights, they asked separatists and they asked anti-national. So the Sikhs are declared anti-national and terrorists. That's how Indian government projects other people and minorities. And similarly, Indian government takes our rights away to speak in Punjab, but is hell-bent on taking our rights away, not to let the referendum happen. The Indian government has had 5 referendums, and Indian government did everything to stop the declaration of London Declaration of Referendum 2020. And now, as you all know, in Burgari Khan, there are Sikhs sitting down there, but they're asking for justice. For 6 months they're sitting there, no justice. If Sikh and Sikhs for Justice workers put the posters and they're arrested and they're tortured and the arms are implanted on them, and then when the Sikh genocide happened, what happened to all those culprits? They're still roaming on the streets. So the justice for the Sikhs is very elusive and very far out. So if the Sikhs for Justice people, workers, put simple posters, they're arrested and they're tortured. But those who carry the genocide, they're not punished. And Indian government doesn't stop there. United Nations Convention Against Torture is called UNCAT, UNCAT. And Indian government has not ratified that because Indian government carries the torture of Sikhs. And similarly, United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which allows referendums, India has ratified that because India has done 5 referendums of our own, and they don't want our referendum happen. I want to give this message to the whole world. The Indian government has done 5 referendums, and they don't want to happen our referendum. Why? Because India is not a free country. Indian government has denied visa to the United States Commission on International Freedom many times. What is India hiding? India is hiding torture, killing of minorities. And what's the operation? How does India do it? India stages massacres. India facilitates massacres. And people are killed. And women are raped. Even those untouchable women are raped. Just imagine. Suddenly they have become touchable. So Indian government then sets a commission up, and then the commission report is thrown away, as you have seen, like the commission report by Justice Jora Singh and Justice Ranjit Singh. So I want to request to you is that there is no option for Sikhs and Punjabis other than Azad Punjab. And referendum 2020 is a way, is a peaceful method of getting freedom, getting independence, as other countries have been freed, as other people are allowed referendums, referendum in Quebec, referendum in Scotland, Brexit, and Caledonia, and many other referendums. And as already been stated, the many countries have become free by referendum. This is a peaceful method, and we want to tell India that we will expose India's genocide and terrorism and massacres of minorities. And my brothers and sisters, I'm requesting you to support referendum 2020, and Punjab will be a country for all the Punjabis. There will be equal rights for everybody. And the last word, Azad Punjab or Punjab Khalistan is not only for Sikhs, it's for all the Punjabis. You will have equal rights, and you are born equal, and you are born equal, and you will be created equal, and you will be treated equal. With these words, once again, I ask you to support referendum 2020. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you. Next speaker is Simran Kaur from Connecticut, and after that we have two speakers from the Jewish community. We have Jerry Fisher from the Jewish Federation, and we have Joel Etra from our Norwich Jewish community as well. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Hello, my name is Simran Singh. I'm from Newington, Connecticut. So me standing here, realizing that the state of Connecticut has passed a day of remembrance for the 1984 Sikh genocide has brought me such a joy. Today, for the first time, I feel that we together took a step towards the recognition of Sikhism. As a Sikh girl growing up in Connecticut, it was kind of hard identifying who I am and where I've come from. But because of this day, because of Connecticut passing this day, I'm pretty sure all the Sikh youth now will find it easier for them to understand who they are and for other people to understand who they are. A lot of people do not quite understand the impact that has been caused by this, and the impact that the Sikh children will have by this is unbelievable. I am proud to live in a state where equal importance and respect are given to all cultures. I thank the state of Connecticut for passing the day of remembrance of the 1984 Sikh genocide. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Sat Sri Akal. Thank you very much. I would like to invite Joel Etra to come forward and say a few words. He has been a very good friend of Sikh community. They have invited us in the synagogue to cook food together as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Swanji. I bring to you the greetings of the Jewish community, the traditional greeting for the day, which is Shabbat Shalom, a Sabbath of peace. The advantage of going towards the end is that all the smart people go first and they get to make all the speech, your own speech for you, so I won't bore you with it all over again. I will say that I am so proud to have friends in the Sikh community, and that whenever Norwich gets together, good, happy, not happy, the Sikh community is there. When we came to dedicate a sacred space for world peace with the Rotary Club, the Sikh community is there. When we remember the loss of a church full of praying people, the Sikh community is there to be supportive. When we celebrate cultural diversity in Norwich, the Sikh community is there. And most recently, when we came together to comfort each other over the loss of too many lives in Pittsburgh, the Sikh community was there too. What can we take away from this? We remember the pain. When one of us is hurt, we are all hurt. We remember the pain, but what do we take away from this? We pray to God. We pray to God to feed the hungry. God turns around and says to us, but I've given you all the food you need to feed the hungry. Why don't you share it? We pray to God to cure disease. God turns around and says to us, but I've sent you doctors and scientists to cure disease, and you put them to work creating the instruments of war. We pray to God to help the poor. And God says to us, but I've given you plenty of money. Just share it. And when I see my friends of the Sikh community come together with us, I am impressed by the power that it creates. The power to repair the world. As we say in Hebrew, tikkun olam. Only we can do it. Only we can do it through the support we give each other, so that there will be no more need for new commemorations of sad events, and we can go on with life celebrating the good.
Thank you very much, Joe. Now our next speaker is Jerry Fisher from Jewish Federation. November 1st, I was in a synagogue when whole Sikh community was commemorating Sikh genocide, and today they have Shabbat, if I'm correct, and we have representative from Jewish community. That shows how much love we have for each other and how much respect we have for each other. Thank you.
Can you hear me without the microphone? Your president, Swaranjit Singh, came to our synagogue in Norwich to speak to us when we were mourning the attack on the synagogue in Pittsburgh. His speech was powerful and meaningful, and his presence meant a great deal. I want to share with you three things. The first is that this pamphlet is very important. And as a previous speaker said, the 8 points in this pamphlet that demonstrate that the Holocaust happened also in Punjab are correct and right. It was a genocide. The second is that Jews and Sikhs share a common concern for the greater good. We care for the needy, we care for the hungry, and that you have a city where your temple is, that no one goes hungry, is a testament of your goodness. And I hope that our Jerusalem will one day be like that as well. The last thing I want to say is that I and the Jewish community admire your courage. As the Muslim speaker who spoke earlier pointed out, your courage to stand and identify as Sikhs in America and to face the attacks and discrimination that sadly brings on you can only be admired and can give all of us strength to hold on to our traditions, to hold up our traditions, and to fight for an America that lets us all live with freedom and dignity and respect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jerry. And our next speaker is Avtar Singh Pannu from Sikhs for Justice. Sikhs for Justice have been a backbone for this event, and we are very obliged that you are here. So please say a few words. And then our next speaker is from CHRO, which is Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities, Ronald Simpson. So he will also share a few words and give a little presentation after Avtar Singh Ji Pannu. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I think so everybody speaking in English, but I'm just speaking Punjabi. Sikh genocide ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ Remembrance Day November 1 ਪਹਿਲੀ ਨਵੰਬਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਇਹ ਭਾਈ ਸਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਕਟ ਦੀ ਸਮੁੱਚੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਸਮੂਹ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ। ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੈਵਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਰਜਸਰ ਨੇ 2013 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਨੇਵਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਸਿਗਨੇਚਰ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਪਲੇਂਟ ਦਰਜ ਕਰਾਈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਚਾਲੂ ਹੋਇਆ। ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੀਅਰਿੰਗ ਹੈ 2014 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਹੈੱਡਕੁਆਟਰ UN ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਸਲੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਗਏ। ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਕੱਲਿਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੁੱਕੇ। ਸਿੱਖ ਫਰਜਸਰ ਕੌਣ ਆ? ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਰਜਸਰ ਹਾਂ। ਇੱਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਬ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਇੱਕ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੀਏ। ਸਾਡਾ ਲੀਗਲ ਟੀਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਦਾਇਰੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਮਾੜੀ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ, ਕੋਈ ਇੱਕ ਪੋਸਟਰ ਵੀ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੇ ਕਿ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਧੜੱਲੇਦਾਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, ਈਵਨ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਜਨਰਲ, ਕੀ ਲੋੜ ਸੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਬੁਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੋਲਣ ਡਿਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ, ਰੈਫਰੈਂਡਮ 2020 ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਧੀ ਗਰਦਨ। ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਦਾਇਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਸ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਲੇਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਲੇਬਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਪੇਨ ਕਰ ਕਰਕੇ 7 ਸਾਲ ਕੰਪੇਨ ਕੀਤੀ। ਅੱਤਵਾਦ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਟਵਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਹਟਵਾਇਆ? ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ, ਪੰਥਕ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ, ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਬੁਲਾਰੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਹਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ। ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਉਸਨੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ। ਭਾਰਤੀ ਤੰਤਰ ਦਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਵਰੀਡੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਧੱਕ ਰਿਹਾ। ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਬੁਲਟ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬੈਲਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਕਲਮ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੈ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਨੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਪੈਂਸਿਲਵੇਨੀਆ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੇ ਮਤਾ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਤੇ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਹਨ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹਾਰਵੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਤਾ ਪਾਸ ਹੋਇਆ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਸ ਹੋਇਆ, ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਵੰਬਰ 1 ਨੂੰ, ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਤਾ ਪਾਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਵਧਾਈ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਰੀੜ੍ਹ ਦੀ ਹੱਡੀ ਹਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਕਟ ਦੇ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਭਾਈ ਜੁਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਂਸਿਲਵੇਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀਰ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾ ਹਨ, ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਰਜਸਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ, ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ। ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਦੀ ਖਿਮਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Thank you very much, Avtar Singh Ji, Bapu Ji. I will also like to bring in your notice, there was a petition filed in White House by Sikhs for Justice that Article 25B should be demolished in Indian Constitution, which says Sikhs are Hindu. And when President Obama went to India on his visit, he said if India won't allow religious freedom, India will be splintered among the lines of religion. So I think whatever we do within the law, it is very effective, and I recommend all of you be fearless, and there are so many tools within the law that we can have this fight together and bring justice to our people in Sikh homeland Punjab. Thank you. And now Ronald Simpson from Commission of Human Rights and Opportunities, State of Connecticut. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We could do better than that. Good afternoon. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Ron Simpson. I'm the Capital Regional Manager for the State of Connecticut Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. On behalf of our Executive Director, Tanya Hughes, Deputy Director Cheryl Sharp, our commissioners and staff, it is certainly an honor to be here today on Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day in Connecticut. The Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities is the oldest civil rights organization in the United States. For the past 75 years, the mission of the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities has been to eliminate discrimination through civil and human rights law enforcement and to establish equal opportunity for all people, within the state of Connecticut through advocacy and education. In addition to enforcing civil rights laws in employment, housing, public accommodations, credit transactions, through investigation and litigation, the CHRO also monitors affirmative action in state agencies and compliance with anti-discrimination laws and contracting on public works projects. We want to make sure that every resident of the state of Connecticut has equal access to all economic opportunities within our state. There are several protected class bases in Connecticut, which includes age, ancestry, color, physical disability, race, religion, sex, gender, and national origin, just to name a few. In closing, let me say that the Connecticut Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities stands in solidarity with our brothers and sisters from the Sikh community today and in the future to fight discrimination of all kinds. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sat Sri Akal. I would like to know if our City Council member Joe DeLucia is still here. Maybe he's not. Okay. So our next guest is Mr. Gurdev Singh Ji Kang. He's also Commissioner of Human Rights in New York City, and we are proud of him. And he's representing Sikh community in New York as well, and also one of the founder members of the Gurdwara Sikh Cultural Society in New York, which is like a mother of all the Gurdwaras, because that was the first Gurdwara in the East Coast. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today is a very historical day for the Sikh community in Connecticut state. And I'm very proud of Swarnajit Singh Khalsa and all the other Sikhs in Connecticut who convinced their state senators and legislators who recognize the Sikh genocide in the Connecticut state. And I want to give the assurance to our other Sikh brothers behalf of, because I'm the Human Rights Commissioner, I have to speak only my limit. I have to protect each and every one. But New York City is like a world capital. Indian government has a very strong lobby. And we are very close to our pass the resolution. And in New York City, we are working on it, and I'm especially thankful for all our Sikh organizations who are working with us too. And behalf of the Sikh community, before our Jewish brothers get killed in Pittsburgh and Synagogue, the Sikh Culture Society make the candlelight for our Jewish brothers and sisters. I know the time is running out. I don't want to speak too much. I'm thankful all the New York's, Connecticut, like a state senator. One thing she said, the Kathy Houston, she said, everyone come to us, make a Sikh genocide while we study ourselves. Now they will study ourselves and they know the Sikh really get the genocide. That's the way they're working on the New York City too. So thank you so much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you, Ji. So, Sri Akal, I would also like to recognize Kuldeep Singh Ji Tillo, President of Sikh Culture Society. He is also with us. And now our next guest speaker is Kirpal Singh Ji Billing from 222 Gurdwara Sahib in New York. Thank you. And then we will have a Sikh national anthem, and Bhai Minder Singh Ji will guide us with that. And after that, we're gonna have one main speaker, Mr. Himmat Singh Ji, who is coordinator of Sikh Coordination Committee East Coast. He bought something very special for us. He bought Sandesh of Jathedar Jagtar Singh Ji Hawara. So please make sure we all stay here, and then we're gonna have lunch. Thank you.
Guru Rup Khalsa Sat Sangat Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਕਤ ਦੀ ਕਿੱਲਤ ਹੈ पर मैं अपने एक जूश फ्रेंड दे जो इत्थे हुणी बोल के गया है ਉਹਦੇ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਹਰਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖੜਾ ਹੋਇਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡਸ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਮੈਮੋਰੇਟ ਕਰਨੇ ਨਾ ਪੈਣ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਦੇ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਮੈਮੋਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਟਾਕਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਟ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੂਇਸ਼ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੂਇਸ਼ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੇ ਹੋਲੋਕਾਸਟ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਸੰਤਾਪ ਹੰਢਾਇਆ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਗਰਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਂਡ ਸਕਿੱਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਤਕੜੇ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਜੂਸ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਜੂਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਖਰੀਦੇ ਜੂਸ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਜੌਬ ਦੇਵੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕਰੇ। ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਬਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਿ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰੇ। ਸਿੱਖ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਦਾ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਰਾਮਲੀਲਾ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟ ਪਏਗੀ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਵਚਨ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰੋ ਭੈ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤਨੈ ਨੈ ਭੈ ਮਾਨਤ ਆਨ। ਅਗਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਰੱਖਣ ਦਾ ਅਧਿਕਾਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਰਦਾਰੀ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਕਿੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 3-3 ਫੁੱਟੀਆਂ ਕਿਰਪਾਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਆਪ ਕਰ ਸਕੋ। ਜੇ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣੀ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਵਰਤਾਰਾ ਵਾਪਰਿਆ 78 ਦਾ ਜੋ ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਦਾ ਘਾਣ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਸੀ। ਉੱਥੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਬਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਪਰ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਮੈਮੋਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੂਸ਼ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਬੁਲਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਮੈਮੋਰੇਟ ਨਾ ਕਰਨੇ ਪੈਣ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਪਲਾਨ ਬਣਾਈਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਾਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਦਈਏ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਦਈਏ। ਇਹ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਬਕ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਸਬਕ ਉਹ ਕਾਹਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਤੋਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਨਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਨਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹੋ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸਾਡਾ ਥਿੰਕ ਟੈਂਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਬਿਲਡਅਪ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਕੋਈ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਪਲਾਨ ਬਣੇਗੀ। ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ 2020 ਦਾ ਨਾਅਰਾ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਨਾਅਰਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਥਕ ਹੋ ਸਕੇਗਾ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਤਕੜੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਹਦਾਇਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰਧਾਰੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਮਜ਼ਲੂਮ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬਚ ਸਕਾਂਗੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Sat Sri Akal. Thank you very much, Kirpal Singh ji. Now our next speaker is Sukhwinder Singh ji, Voice of Khalsa TV channel. He would like to share a few words and enlighten the importance of media. Thank you.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਾਰੇ ਸਪੀਕਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਰੱਖੀ 1-2 ਮਿੰਟ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਜੱਲੇ ਦੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਨਵੰਬਰ 1 ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਉਸ ਮਾਨਸਿਕਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਪਰ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਨੇ ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਨੇ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੇਮ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਜੋ ਦਾਸ ਨੇ ਸਮਝਿਆ 3-4 ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾਂ ਲਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼ ਟਾਈਟਲਰ HKL ਭਗਤ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ 2 ਹੋਰ ਨੇ ਸੱਜਣ ਕੁਮਾਰ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਚਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਬੱਬਰ ਦੀ ਬੁੱਕ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਸਾਫ਼ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੱਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਾਨਸਿਕਤਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਿਵੇਕਲੇਪਨ ਦੀ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਹੈ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਸਦਾ ਹੀ ਰਹੂਗੀ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਿਵੇਕਲਾ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਵਾਈਵ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਕੋਈ ਰੁਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਧਰਤੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਾਸਿਓਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਘੇਰਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਸ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਰਨ ਇੱਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪੰਥ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਸੀ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਨਿਵੇਕਲਾਪਨ ਹੈ। ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਆ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਆ। ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਸਤਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਗੋਲੀ ਨਾ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਵੀ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਕਾਲਰ ਵੀ। ਪਰ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਵੇਕਲੇਪਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਪੇਪਰ ਦੀ, ਉਸ ਜੋ ਬਰਾਬਰਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਚੈਲੰਜ ਹੈ। ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਹੀ ਬਣਿਆ ਰਹੂਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਰ ਕਹਿਣੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਮਤ ਭੁੱਲੀਏ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਸ ਨਿਵੇਕਲੇਪਨ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਉਸ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਿਵੇਕਲੇਪਨ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਪੂਰੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਸਕਾਲਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਹੇਗੀ, ਪੂਰੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਗ੍ਰੰਥਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਔਰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 100 ਈਅਰ ਆਫਟਰ ਔਰ 1000 ਈਅਰ ਆਫਟਰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਬਰਾਬਰਤਾ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਾਕੀ ਧਰਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਮੇਟਾਂ, 1984 ਸਿੱਖ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ 2015 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਲੰਕ ਉਸ ਕਲੋਨੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ। ਕੱਲੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ ਸਾਡੀ ਟੀਮ ਤੋਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ 35-40 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੀਆਂ 4 MP3 ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਉਹ ਸੀੜੀਆਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪਈਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕਾਲਮ। ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੀੜੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਇਓ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ 2-2 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਟੋਵ 'ਤੇ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਭੁੰਨਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨੀ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਹੋਸਟ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ 'ਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਫੌਜੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੋ ਗਰੋਸਰੀ ਲੈਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇਣ ਦਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Thank you ji, Sukhwinder Singh ji. Our last speaker, Parminder Pal Singh Khalsa, guest from Sikh Homeland Punjab, President of Sikh Civic Society International, and also the eyewitness of Sikh genocide, would like to say a few words. Then we have Sikh National Anthem, and then we have Sandesh of Jahedar Jagtar Singh Ji Hawara. Thank you.
जे जीवे पतलथी जाए सब हराम जेता किच खाए। सूरा सो पहचानिए जो लड़े दीन के हेत, पुरजा पुरजा कट मरे कबू ना छाड़े खेत। सब तो पहला नासुरो मंसूर हक हक अगा, बादशाह दरवेश कलगीधर पिता, पुत्रां दे दानी अमृत दे दाते, दसम पातशाह गुरु गोबिंद सिंह महाराज जी दी बख्शिश फतेह की सांझ पाओ। और कोई रसना एवं ना रहे, क्योंकि फतेह का जड़ा बुलावांगे तो फतेह मिलनी है। मैं वेख्या भी फतेह का जवाब एक दो ही सिंह देंदे ने। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। मैं पंजाबी च गल करांगा, मैनू पन्नू साहब ने छूट दे दी है। तो वो कहते हैं ना भी जो मर्जी खाइए, भावें इटैलीअन फूड होवे ते भावें मैक्सीकन होवे, अखीर स्वाद जड़ा है वो पंजाबी का ही आंदा है। भाषावां जिन्नियां मर्जी बोल लईए तो अखीर अपनी जिहड़ी भाषा वो चंगी लगती है।
लेकिन मैं पहले जड़ा फर्स्ट I would like to thank State of Connecticut and its elected official on making a law to pay tribute November 1st every year as Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. सब तो पहला मैं ਵਧਾਈ देना क्योंकि जमात करामात होंदी अकला कोई कुछ नहीं होंदा। स्वरणजीत सिंह खालसा ने ते उन्हां दे साथियां ने बड़ा वधिया जिहड़ा उपराला कीता जिहड़ा इत्थों कनैक्टिकट दी जिहड़ी असैंबली पास कराया और नाल जिन्नियां जथेबंदियां सारियां उन्होंने भी मैं समझांगा पूरा क्योंकि अकले कोई कुछ नहीं सारियां दा जिहड़ा साथ होवे तां ही गल बनदी है। गल हुण 1984 दी है टाइम बहुत घट है नहीं तो मैं गल्लां तुहाडे नाल बड़ियां लंबियां करनियां सन क्योंकि मैं अखी देखिया सारा साडे परिवार ने 1984 की होया कईयां नूं दंगे कहंदे ने दंगे नहीं है जैनोसाइड ही सी सिखां दा कतलेआम होया सी 31 अक्तूबर नूं साडा इलाका सी मलकागंज सब्जी मंडी जिहड़ा यूनीवर्सिटी एरिया सी उत्थे साडे अटैक गुरुद्वारा साहब विच होया साडे उत्थे गुरुद्वारा साहब दे गलीचे भी साड़ सूड़ के लेकिन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी की बेदबी का बचाव हो गया तो उस तो बाद प्रभात फेरियां निकल रही सन गुरु नानक देव जी का गुरपुरब से असी 1 नवंबर नूं सवेरे असी क्या आम होया होना एडा पता नहीं सी भी एडा कुछ हो जाना असी सवेरे सब्जी मंडी थाने गए 1 नवंबर की गल है प्रोटेस्ट करन ते साडा रस्ते च कबीर बस्ती इलाका आंदा सी वो थोड़ा एरिया इस तरह का ही सी उत्थे 20 सिख पेड़ां नाल बन के जिंदा साड़ते गए सन ते असी जदों गए सब्जी मंडी थाने तो उत्थे सानू थाने दे विच ही पत्थर पैने शुरू हो गए सन अगर असी उस रस्तेों वापस आते शायद साढ़े चों एक भी ना बचदा थाने का SHO सिंह सी बलजीत सिंह नाम सी मेरे फादर मैंबर भी सन श्रोमणी कमेटी के दिल्ली कमेटी के भी और सरपरस्त भी रहे अकाली दल के तो चेयरमैन भी रहे धर्म प्रचार कमेटी के जथेदार इंदरपाल सिंह खालसा तो उन्होंने कहा भी तुसी वापस इस रस्ते ना जाओ सानू हिंदू राव तो हॉस्पिटल तो उन्होंने पुलिस प्रोटैक्शन के सानू उत्थे लाता असी उत्थों जड़ा लथे तो अगले दिन नाल ही 1 तरीक रात को साढ़े घर अटैक होया कोई 200 को बंदे सन लेकिन साड़ी जॉइंट फैमिली सी सारे चढ़ती कला सन मेरे खास करके फादर असी उत्थों कोक दियां जड़ियां बोतलां मार पत्थर मार असी अपना बचाव कर लिया गड्डियां साड़ियां साड़तियां साढ़े घर ग्रिलों के उत्ते भी नाल साड़ियां दुकानां सन भाटिया क्लॉथ हाउस भाटिया टाइम कॉर्नर लाल किले के सामने सी चांदनी चौक तो सब्जी मंडी तो कोलाप रोड साड़ियां दुकानां सब साड़ के सवा करतियां मेन गल उन्होंने यह सी जिहड़े दंगाकारी सन उन्होंने कोल वोटर लिस्टां सन और उन्होंने कोल कैमिकल भी सन कैमिकल सुट्टदे सन तो अग लग जाती सी लेकिन उन्होंने स्ट्रैटेजी एड्डी जी जबरदस्त सी मधुबन पुलिस भी हरियाणा की जी ट्रेनिंग सेंटर है उन्होंने वो भी जी जे वाइट ड्रैसिस सन तो वो जोड़े सन जिथे इक्का दुक्का सिखां दीयां दुकानां सन वो दुकानां नूं साड़दे नहीं सन बई आस पास दुकानां होर सड़नगियां लुट लेंदे सन तो जिथे इक्को साड़ी नाल पुल बंगश फिल्मिस्तान के सामने 250 दुकानां सन सिखां दीयां जड़ियां टायरां दीयां सन वो सारी दी सारी मार्केट जिहड़ी है इन्हां ने साड़ती कहण दा भाव कोई भी सिख उत्थे बचिया नहीं भावें अमीर सिख सी वो लुटिया गया तो गरीब सिख नूं उन्होंने जिंदा मारता साढ़े तो बड़ियां वड्डियां वड्डियां लोगों दियां जो सुनने आ ना उन्होंने यह भी कहा भी सानू पेशाब भी पीना पिया टायर पा के असी आम घर के बाहर जिहड़े ने उत्थे दुकानां दे धुएं निकलते होंदे सन सानू जिहड़ा उस टाइम एडा दहशत का माहौल सी टायर पा के सिख साड़े गए जिंदे सिख साड़े गए मूँह च जिहड़ा पा देंदे सन पेट्रोल तो अग लगाते सन तो कहते देखो सिख भंगड़ा पा रहा है बड़े बुरे हालात सन लेकिन मैं समझना कि यह जिहड़ा जिस करके 80% सिखां ने कुर्बानियां दित्तियां जिस देश की आज़ादी लई यह वो भगत सिंह का जिहड़ा देश नहीं रह गया सी यह देश नहीं रह गया सी करतार सिंह सराभा का यह देश नहीं रह गया सी शहीद उधम सिंह का यह देश नहीं रह गया सी गदरी बाबियां का यह भुल गए सन गुरु तेग बहादुर साहब की कुर्बानी नूं सीस दिते हुए नूं यह भुल गए सन दसम पातशाह के पुत्रां नूं जिहड़े नीहां चुने गए यह भुल गए सन अबदाली नूं जिहड़ियां इन्हां दियां धीआं चुक के लैके जांदे सन ते सिख बचांदे सन यह जिहड़े सन सब कुछ भुल के यह जिहड़ा सी हिंदुस्तान बन गया सी यह भारत नहीं रहा सी हिंदुस्तान जिहड़ा एक इन्हां दे दिमाग ही सी जिहड़ा कि संविधान दे विच भी हिंदुस्तान लफ्ज़ नहीं हैगा और जिहड़ा इन्हां ने जो कुछ उत्थे सिखां नाल कीता मैं समझना उहदे विच कसूरवार असीं आप भी सां जिवें मेरे तो पहला बड़ा वधिया भाई साहब बोल के गए ने भी किन्नियां कोल शस्त्र ने असीं जिहड़ा टीवी साडे घर वधिया तो वधिया सन साडे घर वधिया तो वधिया जिहड़े सन VCR सन लेकिन शस्त्र नहीं सन मैनूं याद है साडे घरां दे विच कई बार जदों विआह होना ना सिखां दे ते किरपान लैण भी आना उन्होंने बई चलो रस्म अदा करनी है ਬਈ ਘੋੜੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਤੇ ਬਈ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਠਾਈ ਵੀ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਆਣੀ। ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਸੀ, ਮਾਰ ਪੈਣ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਸਾਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਲਸੀ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ, ਸਿੱਖ ਅਯਾਸ਼ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਔਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਵੀ ਰਾਤੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਨੰਦ ਕਾਰਜਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਸਨ ਰਾਤੀ 12-12 ਵਜੇ ਬਰਾਤਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਸਨ। ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਥੋੜੀ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਰਾਤੀ 12-12 ਵਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੰਗੜੇ ਪਾਈਏ ਤੇ ਬਰਾਤਾਂ ਕਰੀਏ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਬੁਰੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅੱਜ ਬਚਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੜੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਮਲੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਘੱਟ ਗਿਣਤੀਆਂ ਖਤਰੇ 'ਚ ਨੇ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੋ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ, RSS ਨੇ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਟੈਕ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡੇ 'ਚ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਐਡੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਮੂਲੀਅਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੇਸ ਰੱਖ ਲਏ ਨੇ, ਈਵਨ ਕਿ ਕਿਰਪਾਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਪਾ ਲਈਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਕੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰਾਜੀਵ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਜਬ ਬੜਾ ਪੇੜ ਗਿਰਤਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਧਰਤੀ ਹਿਲਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਔਰ ਜਦ ਅਮਿਤਾਭ ਬੱਚਨ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਖੂਨ ਕਾ ਬਦਲਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖੂਨ, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਭੀੜ ਨੂੰ ਭੜਕਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਨ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਬਜ਼ੀ ਮੰਡੀ ਥਾਣੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ SHO ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਹੁਣ ਬੜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ, 2000 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥਾਣੇ ਆ ਜਾਓ। ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਰਿਵਾਲਵਰ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਡਰੈਸ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਚ ਜਾਓ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਆਈ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਂਗੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਮਲਕਾਗੰਜ ਦੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ 20-22 ਫੈਮਲੀਆਂ ਸਾਂ, ਉੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਠੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ। 5 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼ ਟਾਈਟਲਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਰਮੀ ਸਰਦੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ। ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਗਰ ਮੱਛ ਦੇ ਆਂਸੂ ਬਹਾਣ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ? ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੁੱਟ ਲਿਆ, ਕੁੱਟ ਲਿਆ, ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਖੁੰਦਕ ਰੱਖੀ। 1985 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਰਾਂਜਿਸਟਰ ਬੰਬ ਕਾਂਡ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ, ਦਿੱਲੀ 'ਚ। ਕਰਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਰੰਗ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਨੂੰ 2.5 ਸਾਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਕੱਟਣੀ ਪਈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਫਾਂਸੀ ਕੋਠਰੀ, 6x6 ਦੀ ਕੋਠਰੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪਿਆ। ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਈ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੀ ਸਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਭੁੱਖੜਤਾ ਰੱਖਤੀ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੀੜੀ ਸਿਗਰਟ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੀਣਾ ਖਾਣਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇਣੀ। ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਰਾਂਜਿਸਟਰ ਬੰਬ ਕਾਂਡ ਭਾਈ ਸੁਖਦੇਵ ਸਿੰਘ ਦਾ, ਭਾਈ ਅਨੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਸਨ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਗੁਰਪੁਰ ਵਾਸੀ ਨੇ, ਅਗਰ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਵਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਪਾਸ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਬਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਇਆ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਲੋਕਤੰਤਰ ਮੁਲਕ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਚਪੇੜ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਬਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹਿਉਣ ਚਿੱਲੜ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖਬਰ ਆਈ ਹੈ 2011 ਵਿੱਚ, ਮਨਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਗਿਆਸਪੁਰਾ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਬਈ 2011 ਵਿੱਚ 84 ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 2011 ਵਿੱਚ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਬਈ 32 ਸਿੰਘ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਿੰਜਰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨੇ। ਮਤਲਬ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹਿਉਣ ਚਿੱਲੜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਵਾੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਹਰਿਆਣਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਾ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਅੱਜ ਮੁੱਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ। ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਰਥਿਕ ਪੱਖੋਂ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਆਤਮ ਹੱਤਿਆ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਮਝੀਏ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬੇਦਬੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, 100 ਤੋਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਾਂਗਾ ਕਸੂਰਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ ਵੀ ਹੈ। ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ ਨੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਰਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸੱਤਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਭੋਗੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ ਨੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਹਰਸਿਮਰਤ ਕੌਰ ਬਾਦਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਢੀਂਡਸਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ? ਕਈ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਆਈਆਂ, BJP ਵੀ ਆਈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, BJP ਵੀ ਆਈ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਈਵਨ ਕਿ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਦਲ ਵੀ ਰਾਜ ਸੱਤਾ ਭੋਗਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਂਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੂਇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਕਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ, ਜੋ ਜੂਇਸ਼ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੈ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈਏ ਲਿਖਾਈਏ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜਲੰਧਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ 0 ਫੀਸ ਸਕੂਲ ਚਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈਏ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈਣ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ 84 ਦਾ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਹਮਲੇ ਦਾ ਵੀ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈਏ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰ ਬਣਾਈਏ। ਇਹ ਹੀ ਬਦਲਾ ਲੈਣ ਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਹੈ, ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। Now I would like to invite Paiminder Singh ji to guide us with the Sikh national anthem. We have the English interpretation also on the back page, so please join us with that.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਵਾਵਰ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਦਸਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਫਰਮਾਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾਇਨੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਚੰਗੇ ਕਰਮਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਦੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨਾ ਹਟੋ। ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ, ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਵੰਡ ਛਕੋ। ਇਹ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਦੇਹ ਸ਼ਿਵਾ ਦੇਹ ਸ਼ਿਵਾ ਦੇਹ ਸ਼ਿਵਾ ਬੜ ਹੋਇਆ। ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਾਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਨਾ ਡਰੋ ਅਰਸੋ ਜਗ ਜਾਏ ਲੜੋ। ਨਿਸ਼ਚੈ ਕਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੀਤ ਕਰੋ। ਨਾ ਡਰੋ ਅਰਸੋ ਜਗ ਜਾਏ ਲੜੋ। ਨਿਸ਼ਚੈ ਕਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੀਤ ਕਰੋ। ਨਿਸ਼ਚੈ ਕਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੀਤ ਕਰੋ। ਕਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੀਤ ਕਰੋ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਕਹੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਮਨ ਕੋ ਲਾਲਚ ਹੋ ਗੁਣ ਕੋ ਉਚਰੋ। ਹਰ ਸਿੱਖੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਮਨ ਕੋ ਲਾਲਚ ਹੋ ਗੁਣ ਕੋ ਉਚਰੋ। ਹੋ ਗੁਣ ਕੋ ਉਚਰੋ। ਲਾਲਚ ਹੋ ਗੁਣ ਕੋ ਉਚਰੋ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਜਗਤਾਵਤੀ ਆਦ ਨਿਦਾਨ ਬਨੇ। ਅਬ ਹੀਰਨ ਮੈਂ ਤਬ ਜੂਝ ਮਰੋ। ਜਬ ਆਵਤੀ ਆਦ ਨਿਦਾਨ ਬਨੇ। ਅਬ ਹੀਰਨ ਮੈਂ ਤਬ ਜੂਝ ਮਰੋ। ਅਤ ਹੀਰਨ ਮੈਂ ਤਬ ਜੂਝ ਮਰੋ। ਅਤ ਹੀਰਨ ਮੈਂ ਤਬ ਜੂਝ ਮਰੋ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Thank you, Bhai Sahib ji. Now I would like to invite Himmat Singh ji to come forward and share their views, as well as the sandesh of Jahedar Jagtar Singh ji Wara. Himmat Singh ji is also member of World Sikh Parliament. As you all know, that platform was created on the orders of Jahedar Jagtar Singh ji Wara to provide platform to the Sikh community where we all can come together and share our expertise and do something for the community. So I think World Sikh Parliament will be the next biggest thing for the Sikh community, which we all should use. And I invite Himmat Singh ji to please come forward.
ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਨਵੰਬਰ 1 ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰੈਂਸ ਡੇ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ, ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ, ਮੇਰੇ ਭਰਾ, ਬੱਚੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਫਤਿਹ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਹੋਈ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਕਾਫੀ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾ ਸਕੇ, ਮਾਫੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਭੇਜਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਜਗਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਹਵਾਰਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਖਾਲਸਾ 2015 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੰਥ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਾਂ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਥਾਪਿਆ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਫੁਟੇਜ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪਈਆਂ ਆ, ਉਹ ਗਵਾਹੀ ਭਰਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਕਿ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੇਆਮ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਇਕੱਠਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਥਾਪੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਨਾ ਕਿ ਬੰਦ ਕਮਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸੋ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਸਮੂਹ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਨਵੰਬਰ 1984 ਦੀ 34ਵੀਂ ਵਰ੍ਹੇਗੰਢ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਧਾਨੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਇੰਦਰਾ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਦੇ ਕਤਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅੰਜਾਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਸੀਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਸ ਦਰਦ ਨਾਲ ਚੀਰੇ ਪਏ ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਣ ਤੋਂ ਇਨਕਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਦੰਗਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸੰਬੋਧਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਹਕੂਮਤ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਟਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਜ਼ੁਲਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਚ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵਿਤ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸੇ ਲਈ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੰਗੇ ਹੀ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਤਾਕਤਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਦ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਪਰੇ ਇਸ ਅਣਚਿਤਵੇ ਕਹਿਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਵਜੋਂ ਮਾਨਤਾ ਦੇ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਸੂਬੇ ਨੇ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਮਤੇ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਅਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਪੈਂਸਿਲਵੇਨੀਆ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਮਤੇ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ। ਹੁਣ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਸੂਬੇ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਕਟ ਦੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਤਾ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਲਈ ਹੋਈ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਲੀਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਬਿੱਲ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਕਟ ਦੇ ਹਾਊਸ ਅਤੇ ਸੈਨੇਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਰਬਸੰਮਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਨੁਮਾਇੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਟੇਟ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਕਦਮ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਲਾਘਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਸਟੇਟ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ ਨਸਲਕੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਦ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸੱਚ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਆਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦੀ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਦਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਜਗਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਹਵਾਰਾ, ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਤਿਹਾੜ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਟਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਵਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਰਨ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਲਵਾਂਗਾ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਅੱਜ 34 ਵਰ੍ਹੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ 1984 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਫੌਜਾਂ ਨੇ ਯੋਜਨਾਬੱਧ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਵੈਲ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਔਰ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਔਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਲ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ। ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਆਰਮੀ ਦਾ ਮੁਖੀ ਪਨੀਤ ਰਾਵਤ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਾਰ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਰੈਫਰੈਂਡਮ 2020 ਦੀ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਬੜੀ ਪੀਸਫੁਲੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਚਲਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਆਉਣੀਆਂ। ਔਰ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ 1984 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਨੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਸਨ ਔਰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਉਹਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਸਨ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਯੋਜਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੜੀ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਸੀਗੀ। ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ 'ਤੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਕਰਨਾ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੌਜਵਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਝੂਠੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਮੁਕਾਬਲੇ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕਰਨਾ, ਔਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਯੋਜਨਾਬੰਦ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਕਰਨੀ। ਅੱਜ ਉਹੀ ਇਸ਼ਾਰਾ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਅੱਤਵਾਦੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਮੁਖੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਰਮੀ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਦੇਣੀਆਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਿਰੰਤਰ ਜਾਰੀ ਆ ਔਰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਉਸ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਅਫੀਸਰ ਨੂੰ, ਰਾਬਤ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਕਾਲੇ ਦੌਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੂਨ ਦੀ ਹੋਲੀ ਖੇਲਦੇ ਸੀ, ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਸਰਵਿਸਾਂ ਔਰ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਲੈਕ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੂਰੀ ਯੋਜਨਾਬੰਦ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੀ। ਅੱਜ ਸਮਾਂ ਬਦਲ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਆ। 21 ਸੈਂਚਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਪਾਵਰ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ, ਯੂਨਾਈਟਿਡ ਸਟੇਟ ਆਫ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਨੈਕਟੀਕਟ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਆ ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਦਾ ਨਿੱਘ ਮਾਣ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਔਰ ਪੂਰੇ ਐਵੀਡੈਂਸਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦੇ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਅਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਉਠਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਉਸ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੋਜਨਾਬੰਦ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਅੱਜ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਈ ਸਟੇਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਨਤਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਬਿੱਲ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਕਰੋਗੇ। ਨਹੀਂ, ਅੱਜ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਝੂਠਾ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ ਦਾ ਮਖੌਟਾ ਨੰਗਾ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਔਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਉਹ ਦਿਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੂਰ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਲੈਕ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਕੇ, ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਨ, ਔਰ ਭਾਰਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਿਨੋਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚਨ ਹੋ, ਚਾਹੇ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਹੋਣ, ਚਾਹੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੋਣ, ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਸਵਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੜੀ ਸ਼ਲਾਘਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਇਸ ਕਦਮ ਦੀ। ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਇਹ ਬਿੱਲ ਵੀ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਇਸੇ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਅਵਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪੰਨੂ, ਰਾਣਾ ਜੀ, ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ, ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਣ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਪਾਏ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੂਰਨਿਆਂ 'ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸੰਤ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਭਿੰਡਰਾਂ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਿਕ ਕਦਮ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸਾਡਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਨੂੰ ਰਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ। ਪੀਸਫੁਲੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ। ਔਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੁਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ ਵੀਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ, ਕੇਵਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ ਫਿਲਾਡੈਲਫੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਆ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨੀ ਪੈਂਸਿਲਵੇਨੀਆ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਫਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜੋ 1160 ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਅਸੈਂਬਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦਾ। 190 ਮੈਂਬਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੈਨੇਟ ਦੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਹੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਈ ਆ। ਇਹ ਤਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੂਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਸਿੱਖ ਫॉर ਜਸਟਿਸ ਨੇ ਆਰੰਭੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬੂਰ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਦੰਗੇ ਹੀ ਕਹੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ। ਅੱਜ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬੇਹਰਮਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸੁਖਬੀਰ ਚੰਦ, ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਚੰਦ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਪਾਵਰ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੈਨ ਫੜੀ ਖੜੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਦੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੇ ਯਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਤਲੇਆਮ ਸਿੱਖ ਜੈਨੋਸਾਈਡ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਾਵਰ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਲਾਘਾ ਕਰਦਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਸਟ, ਬੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ, ਅੱਜ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੇਨ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ, ਦਰਦ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋ। ਸਵਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਰਵਿੰਦਰਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਇਸ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਆ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਕਮੇਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ, ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ, ਵੀਰ ਪਵਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ ਵਰਜੀਨੀਆ ਤੋਂ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਐਕਟਿਵ ਸਿੰਘ ਹਨ। ਸੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਆਪ ਅੱਗੇ ਲੱਗਣ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਬਲ ਮਿਲੇ। ਸੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਪ੍ਰਜਾਸ਼ਟ ਤੋਂ ਰਾਣੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ, ਜਗਜੀਤ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਕਾਟਰੇਡ ਤੋਂ ਵੀਰ ਗੋਦਾਵਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ, ਜਤਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ, ਜਸਮਿੱਤਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੋਣੀ ਔਰ ਕੰਗ ਹੋਣੀ, ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਗ ਸਿੱਕਲ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ, ਕੁਲਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਢਿੱਲੋਂ, ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵੀਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੱਦੇ 'ਤੇ ਆਏ ਆ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਹੋਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। 5 ਨਾਅਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਲਾਵਾਂਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਨਾ ਰਹੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਪੀਸਫੁਲੀ ਆ। ਔਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ 2020 ਦੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਰਟਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਕੰਬੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਸੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਅਰੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਣਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਰਗੀ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ, ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਆਜ਼ਾਦ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਨੇ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ 5 ਨਾਅਰੇ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਲਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਜੀ। ਤੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣਾ। ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ
ਫਤਿਹ। Thank you very much, Bhai Himmat Singh ji. Now I will be just translating the English version of the message of Jathedar Jagtar Singh ji Hawara. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. The Sikh community is commemorating 34th anniversary of November 1984. After the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in the Indian capital, the genocide of Sikhs were executed by the Indian state. In hearts of the Sikh community, wounds of 1984 are still open till today, but the oppressive government of India still refuses to accept this genocide and address it only with the anti-Sikh riots. When the ruler wants to eradicate a nation, then he also defines the persecution he has committed in its own way, and that's why Indian governments tell it was anti-Sikh violence instead of Sikh genocide, which is not acceptable to the Sikhs. It is a matter of consolation of the Sikh community that the biggest power of the world, America, understand the pain of Sikh nation and recognize the untimely fury of Sikhs as genocide. The Ontario Province of Canada passed a resolution against the massacre, and Pennsylvania state in United States also passed a resolution against Sikh genocide. Now the state of Connecticut and the Senate of Connecticut has declared anti-Sikh violence as a Sikh genocide. This bill was passed anonymously in Connecticut House and the Senate. I admire the Sikh leaders and elected officials who made a move to recognize Sikh genocide. State Assembly of Connecticut have understood the pain of genocide of the Sikh nation and showed courage to say truth. We hope that they will always cooperate with the Sikh community in the pursuit of justice from the Indian state. Jathedar Bhai Jagtar Singh ji Hawara. Sat Sri Akal. We will move forward with our program. Just gonna read a few names of the towns who have recognized November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. Town of Hampden in state of Connecticut has declared November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day and recognized the month of November as Sikh Genocide Awareness Month from the Mayor Kurt Blasio Lang. Then second city of Norwalk, from the Mayor's office, Harry W. Rilling. We have a proclamation stating same thing, November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day and month of November as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month. Then we have city of Bridgeport from the Mayor Joseph P. Ganem, and he declares November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. We have city of Hartford, the Mayor Luke Bronin, who also made a proclamation to declare it as a genocide. Then we have a city of West Hartford, Mayor Sherry Canton. That city also declared 14th April as a Sikh National Sikh Day, and they also declared November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day, and month of November as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month. Then we have City of Norwich, who declared November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. Then we have City of Bridgeport, who declared month of November as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month, and November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. Then we have official citation from our State Controller, Kamil Limo. I would like to just read this. Office of the State Controller, official citation. Be hereby known as all the State Controller hereby offer his sincere congratulations to the Sikh community of Connecticut in recognition of Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day. We stand in solidarity with the Sikh community of Connecticut on the occasion of 34th commemoration of the Sikh Genocide. Each year on November 1st, we will remember those lives lost and will honor their memory. The State Controller extends his best wishes on this memorable occasion and express this hope for continued success. Given by Kamil Limo, State Controller. Then the last one we have from the US Senator Richard Blumenthal, who has been a very good friend of Sikh community from day one. And he made I met him yesterday, and they made a special certificate of recognition presented to the Sikhs of Connecticut in recognition of the Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day and in honor of all the contributions Sikh community has made for our state of Connecticut. Richard Blumenthal. These are all the recognitions we have got from our elected official. Total 8 cities in Connecticut has declared November 1st as a Sikh Genocide Remembrance Day and month of November as a Sikh Genocide Awareness Month. Otis Library in Norwich will also give us showcase to display our artifact and tell the world what happened to the Sikhs. And we had Mayor Peter Nystrom, who came from the city of Norwich. Then we have a Mayor of South Windsor who came. And we have State Senator Kathy Austin, Tony Boucher, Kevin Ryan, our state rep who was here. So we thank you all for being here. Now I just want to... Sat Sri Akal. And we have also done one big achievement in the state of Connecticut. FBI has recognized Sikh martial art known as Gatka. And this year in the Community Cop and Culture event, which is an annual event by the FBI, we have done the Gatka performance. The team from New York came, and it was fabulous. And that's another way we can tell the world our Sikh history and our concept of saint soldier. Now I would like to just recognize members of Sikh community who came all the way from different cities and states. Please accept a token of love from us and recognition.
Ole